We often hear the same advice on attraction. Be strong, be confident, be funny. And while these qualities do matter, they leave out one of the most overlooked forces in relationships. A trait that isn't about muscles, money, or charm. A trait so subtle that most men ignore it. Yet when it's shown, it sparks respect, connection, and a deeper kind of attraction. It's not what you think. And in this film, we're going to uncover the hidden vulnerability women actually admire, and why learning it may change the way you approach relationships forever. Strength without depth becomes cold. Humor without substance becomes empty. And confidence without humility becomes arrogance. What bridges these gaps is not another performance, not another trick, but a kind of vulnerability that doesn't weaken you. It makes you magnetic. Most men avoid it because they fear it will expose them. But in reality, it reveals something far more powerful: self-awareness. When men hear the word vulnerability, they often imagine oversharing, crying too much, or spilling every insecurity. And yes, too much exposure can create the opposite effect: loss of respect. But vulnerability, in its most respected form, isn't about emotional dumping. It's about honesty without apology. The ability to say, yes, I've failed, but I learned. Yes, I felt hurt, but I'm still standing. Yes, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to grow. This kind of vulnerability isn't weakness, it's maturity. And women respect it because it communicates strength without the mask. Attraction is not just about how someone looks, it's about how safe they feel around you. A man who hides behind a wall of ego may appear strong, but he creates distance. A man who is willing to be self-aware, who admits flaws, mistakes, and lessons learned, invites connection. Psychologists call this authentic vulnerability, the courage to be seen without collapsing into neediness. Women respect this because it signals emotional intelligence. You're not controlled by your ego, and you don't fear imperfection. That balance, humility paired with grounded confidence, is rare and deeply magnetic. Think about two men after failure. The first man hides it. He acts like it never happened, maybe even blames others. He protects his image at all costs. The second man owns it. He admits, I miscalculated, I was wrong, but here's what I learned. Which one earns more respect? The answer is obvious. The second man isn't weaker because he admitted fault. He's stronger because he showed resilience. That's the secret vulnerability women respect. Not the whining, not the oversharing, but the grounded ability to face truth. So why do so many men avoid this? Because they confuse vulnerability with loss of power. Society teaches men, never show weakness, never admit fault, always project strength. But women see through masks. Pretending to be flawless is exhausting and unattractive. What actually builds respect is knowing when to drop the mask. To say, I'm not perfect, but I'm real. That's a kind of courage that fake toughness can never match. In relationships, the secret vulnerability women respect shows up in subtle but powerful ways. Admitting emotions without dramatics. Saying, that hurt me, instead of bottling it up or exploding. Owning mistakes without excuses. I shouldn't have said that. I'll do better, instead of deflecting blame. Sharing uncertainty without insecurity. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm figuring it out, instead of pretending to have every answer. These are not signs of weakness. They're signs of a man who knows himself. And self-awareness is a language women instantly respect. Now, here's the catch. Too much vulnerability, expressed the wrong way, kills attraction. Endless complaints, dumping every insecurity, begging for reassurance. That's not vulnerability. That's emotional dependence. The secret is balance. Vulnerability should be anchored in strength. Not, I'm broken, fix me. But I'm human and I'm growing. When you frame vulnerability through growth, it earns respect. When you frame it through neediness, it loses respect. Why does this form of vulnerability matter so much? Because attraction is tied to trust. Women don't trust a mask. They don't trust a man who pretends to be flawless. But when you reveal grounded vulnerability, you signal trustworthiness. You're showing you're honest, not just with her, but with yourself. That honesty creates safety, and safety is the foundation of lasting attraction. Here's what happens when you show this secret vulnerability. She feels emotionally safe. She knows you're real, not performing. Respect grows. Because you're not hiding behind ego, she sees your strength more clearly. Attraction deepens. Because vulnerability creates intimacy, the sense that she knows you at a deeper level. It's ironic. The very thing men avoid, fearing it will repel women, is the very thing that draws them closer when expressed correctly. If you want to embody this respected vulnerability, start small. Admit one flaw openly, not as a joke, but with honesty. Own a mistake without excuse. Just say, "I got that wrong," and move on. Express a feeling calmly. Instead of silence or anger, try, "That disappointed me." Over time, these small acts train you to embrace vulnerability without fear, and the result is a presence that feels both strong and deeply human. Strength without softness becomes rigid. Humor without honesty becomes shallow. Confidence without vulnerability becomes fragile. The men who create lasting attraction are not the ones who never crack, but the ones who know when to reveal a glimpse of what's behind the armor. So ask yourself, are you hiding behind the illusion of perfection? Or are you strong enough to be seen, flaws and all? Because in the end, the secret vulnerability women respect isn't weakness, it's truth. And truth, shared with courage, is irresistible.